There are no inflections in the voice pretty much, you know what I'm saying? It's just here. And if the production is here, where does that leave the listener?
Hey, yo, Eeze.
Yo, what's the deal, fam? Let's talk Lloyd Banks, Halloween Havoc 5. As you all know, Banks is a phenomenal rapper, lyricist, and a very underrated songwriter. He can write choruses, ladies and gentlemen, and the verses that match alongside the content of the chorus, like actual songs. When the album dropped, I listened to it 2 times on a particular day. I think it was Halloween. And I said, you know what, I'm going to sit back, dissect the lyrics a little bit more, and the whole project. And this past weekend, I decided to go back and listen to it. And my assessment is, it doesn't hit the mark. Now, hear me out. Once again, his lyrics are never the issue. The issue for me is that there are 16 tracks, right? And I get it. It's a Halloween or a gothic or a dark project, so he's sticking to that particular theme. But it doesn't move. It really doesn't move. It just stays right there. And when you incorporate a gothic or dark sound with his monotone delivery, it can become a very hard project to get through. Not because he can't rap, it's just the fact that there's a lack of variety. And that lack of variety takes away from his writing talent, because it's hard to stay engaged a whole project when song 1 may feel like song 3, right? And also with the monotone delivery, I feel as though the engineering aspect hinders it, in the sense that his vocals don't pop. Now, I know a lot of people always had that complaint about him, the monotone tone. When he was with Aftermath, they kind of tapped into something, and we know that's Dre, but sometimes you got to spend bread on certain things to, mask your handicaps, right? The vocals sound over compressed, and then when you put that with gothic or dark beats, it's like an arduous task to get through the entire project. Like, I'm just keeping it a buck right now. I love Banks, man. I prefer Halloween Havoc 4 over this, but we don't want to compare the two, but I felt like that was more effective. This particular project feels as though it was rushed. There's some bad sequencing on here as well. Like, for instance, you go from the song Choose Wisely, and then you have, I think, Resources, and then Taking Notes. When you play those 3 songs back to back, it like kills the whole flow of the project. You're like, hold on. There was no thought really put into it. It sounds like he had a bunch of songs on the hard drive that meet this particular criteria of, the gothic Halloween season sound, and I'm just gonna put the project out. There are no terrible songs on here, but all around it just feels like the cohesion is lacking. We have some phenomenal and some dope producers on here, but no one really staked their claim and brought something different. Like, if you were to close your eyes and just listen to the music and not read the credits, it's very few moments on here where you say, oh, that sounds different. It all sounds like the same producer, pretty much. And that's no knock. I don't know if that's what he was requesting. So that's no knock on the producers, because those who are on there, like Cartoon Beats and Ron Browse, we know what they bring to the table. But this particular project, it just ain't really, it's lackluster. And it may not be what some people want to hear, but that's just my opinion, the TheEezeExperience. Doesn't make it law, doesn't make it the end-all, be-all. But after listening to it, giving it a break, coming back to revisit the whole project, it feels like it's lacking. I think Banks going forward should really stretch or, challenge his own creative mind, right? Like, lock in with one producer, like call Apollo Brown or someone who could actually give you an array of different sounds, and you can go in there and be exactly who you are, a great songwriter. Because a lot of this production, the gothic stuff, doesn't fit well with his monotone tone. And if the engineering isn't right, that allows for the vocals to pop or sit right within the mix, they can sound kind of cluttered or over compressed. Because when you're monotone, cadence is kind of lacking, right? There are no inflections in the voice pretty much, you know what I'm saying? It's just here. And if the production is here, where does that leave the listener? Kind of bored, right? So those are my suggestions. Halloween Havoc 5, not a terrible project, but when you break it down separately, there are good moments. Like the lyrics, he can spit, we know that. There are some pretty solid beats that stand alone on their own. But when we're talking about a cohesive project, sequencing and mixing and perhaps mastering, this isn't for me. But Banks is still that guy. Shout out to Queens. Let me know what you think in the comment section, man.